Hello, my dear friends. You might notice that I no longer fully hide my face. This change comes from listening to you, because connection matters. Still, I prefer to remain partially unseen so that your attention stays where it belongs on the message that FA you today. So let's begin. My child, my beloved, slow down for a moment and breathe. Because what you are about to hear was not mean for distracted ears. It's reached you now for a reason that was decided long before this day. Begin. There is a movement happen around you that you cannot yet see. Footstep guided by a plan greater than human. Understanding and heavens ask that you be prepared before the knock ever touches your door. My child, if the message fawn you, it is not coincident. It is alignment. Many scroll past scared warnings, thinking they will return letter. Yet letter is not promise when destiny is already traying towards you. Stay with these words until the end, because the one apro approaching carries more than a simple surprise. They carry an answer. You once whispered during a right time, a night when no one heard you. But God, before we go deeper, listen carefully. If your spirit has ever felt, watched, overprotected through moments, you should not have survived, guided. When logic failed, then you already belong to this family of chosen listeners. Subscribe now and remain connected because messages like this do not appear randomly. They arrive when your soul is ready to receive what others might miss. My beloved child, there is someone being directed towards your life at this very hour. You may think your day is ordinary, predictable, repeating itself like countless others, yet heaven rarely announces its greatest shift with thunder. Instead, heaven sends a person, a conversation, an unexpected arrival that quietly rearranges everything you believe was permanent. I see the question forming inside you already. Who is this person? Stay patient because revelation unfold in layers and rushing scare timing causes pupil to overlook the miracle, standing directly in front of them. My child, remember the person, the players you thought were forgotten. The one spoken softly so no one would call you foolish for still believing. Not one of them dissolve into silence. Every tear become a signal. Every moment of endurance become permission for blessing to move closer. What is coming is connected to endurance. There were seasons when doors closed so often that you began lowering your expectation just to protect your heart. Haven't watched that quietly surrender. And still you choose kindness when bitterness would have been easier. That decision changed the direction of your future more than you realize. Now listen closely because this message is important. The person on their way is not arriving to take from you, but to release something that has been held back until the exact second. Your strength matched the weight of the gift. My beloved, delays are never Daniels when God is writing the timelines. You have walked through confusion recently, sensing that something was about to shift, but unable to explain why. That feeling was not immigration. It was spiritual awareness stretching awake inside you. Your soul recognized movements before your eyes could confirm it. Do not doubt yourself again after today. The arrival may appear simple at first. There may be so dramatic announcement. No flashing sign declaring that your life is dividing into before and after. Pay attention anyway. Miracles prefer humble entrance. So only the attentive recognize them. My child, some people wait their entire life for the moment that is quietly searching for your address. Right now, I must prepare your heart for another truth. When the knock comes, hesitation is the only thing that could delay what has already been approved for you. Fear has a way of disguising itself as caution. Breathe for a moment, whispering that you should wait, analyze, question everything, but blessings rarely shout wise. Open the door of awareness. There is history connected to meetings, threads woven long before you understood their pattern. You may have crossed paths with this per once, or perhaps you only hear name is passing, never guessing that one day their presence would mark a turning point. Nothing about this is incidental. My beloved child, heaven often uses pupil as a vessel because human heart recognize warmth faster than they recognize divine intervention. When help looks like a person, it becomes easier to receive. Yet I must warn you gently, do not measure this arrival using your past disappointment. Not everyone who approaches carries the intention towards some are sent specially to restore what others mishandle. You ask for restoration without even realizing that was the world your spirit was forming. There is also something you must release before this encounter happens fully. The belief that good things always belong somewhere else. That quiet lie has kept many miracles fading outside door that were never open. Today, choose expectancy instead. Comment Archangel Michael protected me if you listen right now. My child, the surprise being carried towards you is tied to expansion. It may expand your opportunity, your security, your sense of belonging, or even your understanding of why certain chapters had to end. When expansion begins, old limitation cannot follow. Do not shrink when your life start growing. I see how often you question whether you were truly seen. Let this settle inside you now. You were never overlooked. Timing was protected you from receiving too little when you were meant for more. Imagine being handed a blessing before you had the strength to hold it. Preparation is one of God's quiet mercies. The person approaching has felt an unusual pulls they cannot fully explain. Something keep reminding them of you, guiding their thoughts back again and again until movements become unavoidable. That is how divine direction works. Gentle, persistent, impossible to ignore forever. Even now parts are aligning. My beloved, when this meeting happens, remains present. Do not rush the conversation. Sometimes a single sentence carries the power to redirect an entire lifetime. But only those who listen without distraction recognize it. There is a wisdom coming with this visitor. And hear this reassurance: you are not stepping into loss, you are stepping into increase. The season where you felt you were always the one giving more than receiving is reaching its closing breath. Balance is returning, my child. Gratitude will unlock what astonishment alone cannot sustain. When the surprise reveals itself, register the urge to question your worthiness. You were chosen because your heart learned how to remain soft in a world that tried to harden it. Softness is not release one more fear. The fear that joy never lasts. That fear was burned from moments that were never meant to define your future. What is approaching carries stability within it. This is not a passing spark. There will be a movement soon when realization washes over you quietly, and you will think back to this message with widened eyes. You will understand that heavens always announce transformation to those willing to listen before it's arrived. Preparation multiples miracles. My beloved child, stay awake in your spirit today. Notice the unusual welcome, the unexpected, and trust the calm certainty rising within you. You are not being interrupted. You are being redirected towards something your past self once begged for. The wait is ending more gently than you imagined. And remember this above everything: when the knock comes, it is not mercilessly a sound at your door. It is a confirmation that you were guided, protected, and let here with the precision. Receive it without fear, because the person on their way is not just being a surprise. They are carrying evidence that God never stopped working on your behalf. If you want, my child, my beloved, do not let your mind wander now, because what I am about to reveal is something your spirit has been sensing for days without understanding why. Have you noticed how certain thoughts keep returning to you lately? How an explanation, anticipation settle quietly in your chest, as if important were approaching, but refusing to show its face too soon. That feeling was not an anxiety, and it was not imagination. It was awareness. Your soul was adjusting itself so the blessing would not feel unfamiliar when it's finally understood before you. There is a scared difference between surprise and shock. Breathe for a moment. Heaven never send what would shatter you. It send what will expand you. The one traveling towards your life carries an energy that feels strangely recognized, almost as if you hurt. Remember them before your memory does. When this happens, do not pull away. Familiarity is often the signature of divine orchestration. You must understand something clearly now. The greatest changes rarely announce themselves loudly. They arrive distinct, disguised as ordinary moments, so that only those who are spiritually awake recognize their magnitude. Many people pray for transformation but fail to notice it because it does not match the picture they carried in their mind. Release the picture. Let the miracle define itself. My beloved child, you have entered a threshold season. A threshold is not just a beginning. It is the invisible line between who you were supposed to be and who you are finally allowed to become. Crossing it can feel almost unreal at first. Part of you may want to overlook behind just to confirm the struggle is truly over. Yet I tell you gently, do not keep staring at doors that already closed with purpose. There were nights when you wonder if your persistence matters. You continue showing up, continue hoping, continue believing in quiet ways that no one applauded. Heavens recorded every one of those moments. Endurance creates a spiritual movement, and momentum always leads to arrival. The person approaching you has unknowingly been prepared as well. Just as your heart's strength, through waiting there was shaped through experience, that of them exactly how to carry what you need to preparation are about to meet thee at the perfect interaction. Do you see now why delay was necessary? Pause for a moment. My child, some blessings require alignment on both sides. Had this meeting occurred earlier, understanding would have been incomplete. Timing is not about restriction. It is about harmony. When harmony is presence, what unfold does so with a natural ease that feels almost effortless. Expect that ease. Yet listen carefully because this is important. When a goodness begins flowing towards people who are used to hardship, their first reaction is often suspicious. Guard your hurt from unnecessary doubt. Wisdom protects, but fear blocks. Learn to recognize the difference. You are not being tested. You are being trusted. Very soon something within you will whisper, receive this. Do not argue with that whisper. Your spirit recognized safe passes long before logic gathers its evidence. There is intelligence inside your soul that has guided humanity since the beginning, and it's guiding you now. My beloved, I want you to prepare you for the emotional shift that may follow this encounter. Relief can sometimes feel overwhelming when you have carried invisible weight for too long. You might not even realize how tired you were until the burden's beginning lifting. Let it lift. You do not have to remain strong every second. Strength also means allowing yourself to experience joy without preparing for it to disappear. What is meant for you does not arrive with the intention of leaving. There is another truth you must hold close. This surprise is not random kindness from the universe. It is not response. Somewhere along your path, perhaps when no one notices, you choose integrity instead of convince. You choose compassion instead of indifference. Those choices echo further than human eyes can see. US returns as blessings. My child, release the habit of minimizing what you deserve. Humanity is a beautiful, but shrinking yourself is not humanity. It is forgetfulness of your divine origin. You were never created to live convinced that miracles belong only to others. Today, allow possibilities to feel personal. As the hours unfold, remain attentive to small signals, a sudden message, an unexpected call, a change in routine, an introduction that seems almost casual. Do not dismiss these as meaningless. Destiny often enters quietly, so it can be welcome without resistance. The one approaching may carry words you have been needed to hear for a longer than you admit. Words can heal places that times could not reach. Stay open enough to let them land. Pause for a moment and breathe. My beloved child, there is something beautiful about the way heavens arranges the meeting. Nothing is forced. Paths curve gently until two stories arrive at the same sentence. When you look back later, you will see that countless tiny adjustments were made just to bring this movement into existence. You were guided more than you were aware. And I know there is still a caution voice inside you asking, what if this is not meaningful as it sounds? Hear this Rio syringe. What is coming will not confuse your spirit. Clarity carries a peaceful authority. When truth stands near you, it does not tremble. Trust the calm that accompanies it. Comment renewed my energy if you like this video. You may also notice a renewed energy awaking within you. A motivation that had quietly faded, returning without effort. This is not coincidence. Hope it's contagious when it finally touches a heart that has waited faithfully. Let hope rise again. My child, you are not the same person you were when you first asked for change. Growth has made you capable of sustaining what once might have been overwhelmed to you. Sometimes the greatest miracle is not the gift itself, but the person you become while preparing to receive it. Honor that transformation. There will come a moment soon when gratitude fills your chest so suddenly. Pause just to absorb it. Do not rush past that feeling. Gratitude anchors blessings so they can remain instead of drifting through unnoticed. Breathe in it fully. My beloved, I must remind you of one more thing. Remain authentic, fan. This meeting happens. You do not need to perform, impress, or reshape yourself to be accepted. What is divinely aligned recognize you best when you are simply yourself. Effortless connection is a sign you are exactly where you need to be. Do not be surprised if this encounter awakens dreams you had gently set aside. Some dreams sleep lightly, waiting only for the right confirmation to open their eyes again. Perhaps this person is carrying that confirmation. Nothing that was truly mean for you was ever raised. And if emotion rises unexpectedly, do not hide it. Tears of relief are not weakness. They are evidence that your hurt never stopped believing even when belief felt. Pringle, you made it through more than you give yourself credit for. My child, the rhythm of your life is changing. Where there was once constant effort, there will be cooperation. Where uncertainty linger, direction will begin to appear. Change does not always roar. Sometimes it simply replaces tension with place. Welcome that peace without questioning it. I want you to remember something when everything begins making sense. You were being positioned, not postponed. Each detour protected you from settling for less than what was written within your name upon it. Production often looks like delay until full picture is visible. The person drawing near is not arriving empathy hand beyond any physical offering. They carry perspective, connection, and of opening that leads further than this single moment. One encounter can become the door to many answered prayer. Stay receptive to where it leads. Comment, I trusting Archangel Michael for this message. Please share this message. Who needs this message right now?